Hi, my name is Fanindra. In this video, I will give some introduction to C language. Once the algorithm is designed to implement that algorithm, that means to write for a program for the same algorithm in C language, you can use certain concepts. Not only in C language, generally in any language, there are certain concepts are most important. If you are perfect in these concepts, it's a very simple working with the language. The first most important concept is the data types. The purpose of data types is to declare the variables. So variable is nothing but the name of the memory address. So based on the algorithm, just you can compare with the flowchart or pseudocode, just you can compare and how many variables are required, you can declare. After declaring these variables, immediately the program is not completed. Still there is certain process. You have to take some input and do some process and display the output. For this purpose, the next most important concept is the standard input output functions. This standard input output functions are categorized into two. One is the character based functions and the next one is the format based functions. The difference between these two is in case of character based functions, it's only for character type data. Whereas in case of format based, you can work with any type of data like characters, integers, and float. Whatever data you want, you can accept and you can do the manipulations or you can print. After taking the input, the program is finished? No. Definitely need one more concept, that is called operators. To perform the manipulations with the operands. Operands are nothing but variables. These operators are different categories. Relational operators for comparing purpose, assignment operators to assign the values, arithmetic operators to perform the mathematical operations, and logical operators to compare with the multiple conditions as well as opposition conditions, bitwise operators to perform the manipulations with the binary data. So there you can work with a set of operators. In the coming sessions I will explain with the best examples. And the next one is unary operators. Again it has some different categories, increment as well as the decrement operators, and shortcut notations for arithmetic operators. And the last category is conditional operator. If you know the operators, maximum it's possible to work with 2 to 3 programs. That is accept two numbers and then interchange, accept two numbers and display the biggest number among two numbers by using conditional operators. Is it enough? To get a job in top MNC companies, learning only two programs in C language is enough? No. Still we need some more concepts. The next concept, most important concept, is control flow statements. So same thing you can call it as in programming practice techniques, you can call it as a programming constructions. These programming constructions are three. The first one is a sequence, and second one is a selection, and third one is a iteration. Sequence in the sense, without any conditions, if the statements are executed, then it is called sequence. For example, accept two numbers and interchange. So there is no conditions. One by one the statements are executed and then it will display the output. And the next programming construction is a selection. Based on the condition, the execution control is changed from one place to another place. This process is called a selection process. For this purpose, you can use the conditional statements, if as well as a switch. And the third one is the iteration or repetition, executing some set of statements number of times. For this purpose, you can use the loop. Same thing you can call it as a control flow statements, conditional statements, if as well as a switch, looping statements to repeat the number of statements number of times. Here you can use the loops like a for, while as well as do while. In the coming sessions, I will go in depth regarding this if, switch, and then for loops. Unconditional statements. There you can use a break, continue, and go to exit and then return. If you know if you know up to control flow statements or programming constructions, maximum it's possible to work with n number of programs. But still there is a drawback. If you're learning up to this part, this extent, the drawback is that it depends on the problem definition. Suppose if the problem will be like this: accept a number and check whether the number is a prime number or not. So in this case, what happened? If you know the loops, if you know the conditional statements, if you know how to take input, all these things, it's possible to finish the task. But the problem is changed somewhat like this: accept two numbers and check both the numbers are prime or not. So in this case, what happened? Whatever the logic you have written for first number, same logic is repeated. You have to repeat once again. So because of this, what happened? It will take more memory again. To overcome this problem, you can use the next most important concept is a function. So what is a function? Simply said, somebody said that it's a subroutine. And if you want to know about the proper definition, will be like this. In a program, to perform particular task a number of times, which is having more number of statements, instead of writing those statements number of times, we can define a subroutine called a function. Once again repeat: in a program, to perform particular task number of times, which is having more number of statements, instead of writing those statements number of times, you can define a subroutine called function. In coming sessions, I'll explain what is a function, what are the different types of functions, and what are the different types of parameter passing mechanism that we'll discuss. Even though you know the functions, still there is a drawback. Suppose if you want to work with multiple values, for example, the question will be like this: accept 6 values and find out the biggest number among the 6. So generally how you can do? You are declaring based on the number of values, you can declare the number of variables. For example, if it is 6 values, you are declaring 6 variables. So if you go for individual variable declarations, what happened internally? The variable values can be randomly stored in the RAM. Whenever you try to read the values, what happened? It will take more time. And automatically what happened? If it will take more time, automatically the performance comes down. To overcome this problem, you can use one more concept that is called an array. In case of array, what happened? The values can be stored in subsequent memory locations. So array is nothing but it's a single entity which can store the set of values with the same data type in a subsequent memory locations. So based on the language, there are different types of arrays, single dimension as well as multi-dimensions. In coming videos, we'll check it. I'll give you best examples, how to work with the arrays and all those things. And same fashion, what is the drawback in case of array? It's a static memory location. What is the static memory location? At the time of array declaration itself, based on the data type, based on the size of array, it will allocate the number of bytes. For example, if I am declaring an array with integer type with the 5 elements, for integer 2 bytes, for 5 elements it will take 10 bytes. Suppose after declaring an array, if we try to store the values for first index and then second index, for suppose two values, it will take only 4 bytes, remaining 6 bytes are wasted. So that is a drawback in case of array. To overcome this problem, you can use a pointer. So pointer is a dynamic. Pointer is a variable which can store the address of another variable. With the help of pointers, by using memory allocations, whatever number of values you want, you can add. If you don't want to maintain, you can clear the memory. If you don't want to maintain any values, you can remove all the values by using some memory allocation functions. In coming videos, I will explain with the proper examples. And even array and then pointer, there is still drawback. It is only for a same data type values you can maintain. It's not possible to maintain mixed data types, and it's not possible to maintain the complex data. For this purpose, you can use user-defined data types. There you can work with the structure, union, as well as the enumerations and type definitions. Even you are working with the structure, union, and then enumerations and type definitions, and then still there is a drawback. So once you can finish all these programs, all these concepts, once you are running the program, where the values can be stored, temporarily stored in RAM, once you can exit from runtime, the values can be erased. That is another drawback. To overcome this problem, you can use one more concept called files. In file system, the values can be permanently stored in the disk. Whenever you want, you can read the values, you can do the manipulation, again you can send it back to the file system. So they are the main topics which are covered in C language. That's all about this introduction session. Thank you.